Check 1, 2. Welcome. OSBA men's action semifinal number 2, the final game of game 2. Chris McKee with Haley Hopkinson. So we've got both Fort Erie's here. Now, for the sake of simplicity, I know one team's called Fort Erie Red or Fort Erie International. We're not doing that today, okay? It's Fort Erie White is going to be the guys in the white jerseys, and Fort Erie Black are going to be in the black jerseys. I think we can all get along with that.
Yes, and to be clear, Fort Erie Red is in the white jerseys. Yeah. They're the home team.
And that's why I'm not playing that game. So it's Fort Erie White, Fort Erie Black for the sake of simplicity.
Yeah.
And let's go. So even though your screen says the, red, that's the white team we're going with as well. So we just did the OSBA awards. Charles Hentamakis, Coach of the Year. I mean, that's as easy as it's going to get.
Yeah.
Guy went 16-0. Your MVP is Sean Sharma, obviously a first-team All-Star. Mariel Akuntak, the big man, Defensive Player of the Year and an All-Star. Braden Jackson, an All-Star, as well as Chris Kumu, an All-Star. And then on the Fort Erie Black side, Chidube Ekwamato, also an All-Star, and he's headed to Fairleigh Dickinson. So Fort Erie littered with Division I commits. You got, Christian Nutu, he's gone for the season. He's injured, but he's not even here. He's left the program. He's committed to Indiana State. Felix Caceres, the guard, number 3, going to Colorado. Ishan Sharma, the MVP of the league, he's going to Virginia. Braden Jackson going to Buffalo. And the rest of them, the other guys, still kind of waiting a couple 2024s, more offers to come. Jihad El-Khatib, watch out for him. Charrier. I mean, basically, normally I go through and go, hey, here's 1 or 2 guys you should watch out for. If they're wearing a white jersey, they're really bleeping good. And there's my pregame, my Chiefs pregame breakdown.
Yeah, undefeated this season. I mean,
so they are going up against their brother's school. Now, keep in mind, though, another team may be intimidated. These guys practice against these guys several times a week. They know them from the same gym. So 0 intimidation factor.
Right.
And so I think that's going to help Fort Erie Black tonight trying to get through this. So I mentioned, watch out for Chidube Ekwamato. He's headed to Fairleigh Dickinson next year. They got Sader Servilis. He's got some offers. I know Sam Houston's interested. Bashir Ngala's got about 4 or 5 offers as well. Their point guard, number 0. So they got dudes as well. Watch out for them. Henri Young is a guy. Keep in mind, by the way, it's Henri. He wants to go with the French pronunciation.
Okay.
Not Henry. So number 4, watch out for him. I did their game last week up against Orangeville, and Young was shooting the lights out. Dude can play. So on the floor right now for Fort Erie Black is number 9, Toby Ezekafor. He was injured last week. Number 1, Bashir Ngala. 13 is Ryan Kalembe. He wasn't playing the other day as well. 5, Chidube Ekwamato. And who am I missing? Figure it out. So on the floor for Fort Erie White, Akuntak takes the tip. Felix Caceres, ball in his hand. Number 6 is Sean Sharma. 11 is Charrier. And 7 is Braden Jackson. Fort Erie White, this is the best high school team in Canada, hands down. It's one of the top 10 high school programs in North America. This is as good as it gets. The championship is going to run through them. Braden Jackson, bang, there's your start. The Buffalo commit says, welcome to Scarborough. So Ngala. Sader Servilis is 10 was the other one I missed. He's got the ball in his hand. Stolen by Akuntak. There's the Defensive Player of the Year, already with a steal. Jackson,
awkward lob there.
So when you walk in this gym, you would think this is the Division I program. You got the 2 6'11" guys here, the 2 Twin Towers. Good luck trying to get by them. Then you got a Division I player is going to the Pac-12. Well, Colorado's leaving the Pac-12 because it's not going to exist. They're going to be back to the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
Braden Jackson's going to be in the MAC at Buffalo, and then Ishan Sharma in the ACC at Virginia. Servilis, no. Ngala up and under, and ripped away by Felix Caceres. Caceres an All-Canadian, Akuntak an All-Canadian, Sharma an All-Canadian. And keep in mind, they have Chris Kumu an All-Canadian, who's on the bench right now. Hasn't come on yet.
That's how you know the team is really good.
And then wait till you see Jihad El-Khatib as well. And his brothers, the 2 brothers are pretty damn good as well. Hadi El-Khatib, but Jihad, he's pretty special. Had the chance to chat with Jihad last week. I'll post that interview once all this is done. Because obviously I'm in here calling games, not sitting on my computer editing video. Back to it, Ekwamadu. He'll join United Scholastics' Josiah Francis at Fairleigh Dickinson. Remember, they're the Giant Killers, the school that knocked off Purdue in the first round of March Madness last year as the 16th seed. They want a little Canadian influence.
Yes.
Caceres. Good ball movements. Jackson in the corner. He's already hit one. And you got two 6'11" guys in there going for it. Guess who came away with it? Sharma. No.
I think if the Black team has any shot of getting those rebounds, it's just going to be about timing it perfectly, because getting above those arms from the white team is just going to be a massive challenge throughout this entire game.
So we're here at the Pan Am Center in Scarborough on Morningside Avenue, just south of the 401. Friday night hoops. This is March.
Oh, yeah.
Crowd filing in.
The games today have been all amazing so far.
The last one was horrible. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
The first one was entertaining.
Yes.
But keep in mind, on the Orangeville play-by-play.
Exactly. Horrible for you to watch.
It was, look,
but it was a fun game to watch. It was definitely fun.
I love Royal Crown. Love Mike DiGiorgio. I love a bunch of his players. And so I always root for Royal Crown as well.
Yeah.
Sharma underneath to Jackson and he's jumped on top of him. It's Toby as Okafor. I'm trying to get it because he wasn't there last week, so I'm trying to make sure I get his name right. We got the big man, Matt Dan, coming in.
Wow.
So he's already got an offer from Oregon, 7-footer. He's a 2025. This is a guy that was playing hockey a couple of years ago.
Oh, wow.
And had a growth spurt.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think a little bit too big for hockey now. And here he is. Part of the BioSteel Futures a couple of years ago. Called his games when I first saw him about 2 years ago.
Wow.
And obviously his size and length. Like, if they're going to have a shout today, Matt Dan's got to be big.
Yeah.
Charrier, fadeaway, no.
If you're that size playing hockey, you're immediately an enforcer. So it's basketball or brain damage. Pick your
One
choice.
Ekwamadu. And there's Kumu out there now, number 0. And one more. Ekwamadu.
Oh.
Well, Fort Erie's coach, Steve Houston, an outstanding young coach. He's got these guys playing great hoops. They knocked off United Scholastic last week in the semis to get here. And like I said, these guys ain't going to be intimidated going against these dudes because they know all of them pretty damn well. Which means they know their traits. They know what they want.
Right.
So it's going to be a little bit more challenging for the other Fort Erie guys. Again, if you're just joining us, disregard the Fort Erie red and IA. It's Fort Erie white and black today for the sake of sanity and simplicity. Sharma, wide open, bang. Before it went in, I could see it was going in.
100%.
As smooth a stroke in the country, Ishan Sharma. I got an interview with Ishan. I interviewed him last week as well. I haven't posted it yet. That's sitting in my library. I'll get to it. Chatted about his commitment to Virginia. And there's a lay-in, Bashir Ngala. 6'5". Yeah, I talked about Sharma because Virginia, they're known for their defense. And there's Felix Caceres, the Colorado commit. And I just said, are you committed to kind of getting your body right and playing that kind of D? He's like, hell yeah, man. So,
oh, yeah.
So Virginia, when they play, you'll see them traditionally kind of 52, 57. The follow Cedar Servilis.
Wow.
8-7. We got a game. I like it.
Yes.
Kumu. There is no better athlete in the OSBA than Chris Kumu. He is electrifying. He can jump out the gym. He's the All-Canadian. Braden Jackson. Kumu lost the handle on it. Back the other way. It's Okafor. Matt Dan. He's mugged. And Matt Dan's to the free throw line. 5:22 opening quarter, really good pace of the game. The winner of this game will meet Rolf Brown Sunday night in the OSBA final. If you're out there, drop me a follow on Twitter at Mr. McKee, MRMCKEE. Any issues with sound, or let us know where you're listening from, or on my basketball Instagram, undrafted_FA. What does it mean when someone adds you to their flip side on Instagram?
It's like a private Instagram.
Ooh.
It's like you can post on it without anybody seeing it besides who you add to your
okay.
side.
Matt Dan misses. Caceres with it. Felix from Montreal. Had a bunch of offers. Mizzou involved, Ole Miss, Santa Clara, Temple. But he's going to Boulder, Colorado. Unfortunately, Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, doesn't coach basketball out there. Just the football team. So. Coming into the game, number 9, Diego Ramos, as well as number 13, Mario Akuntak back in. So Akuntak, he was out last week up in Orangeville. He had an ankle sprain, so he missed the last game or two in OSBA regular season action. I talked to Charles, the head coach, before. He said it's more just cautionary. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah, because you want him for this weekend.
Yeah, that's what he said. We need him for March.
Right, yeah. And
Ishan Sharp.
Yeah.
Hey, he's trying to. He wants to validate that MVP now.
Yeah, he does.
And he's doing it already. 11-8, Fort Erie White. It's got to be a travel. No. Ooh, Matt, offensive foul. It is. So we also got Kevin Toth, who's just come in, number 3 for Fort Erie Black. Equamato back in. Number 2, Luca Cinda. This guy's a nice player. He had a big night against Orangeville last week. And we've yet to see Henri Young, who's a 3-point specialist. Dude can shoot from anywhere. So 11-8. If you're Fort Erie Black, you got to be happy with how the boys are started.
Yeah.
You know, I spoke to Steve Houston, the head coach. He's feeling good. He wasn't
That's
like,
good.
hey, this was great. He's like, no, they came to win and compete. So Ramos last year in the playoff, he's a guy, a bit of a role player, was red hot, 3 after 3, because all these other guys are getting the attention.
Yeah.
So Ramos is getting these wide open looks, and was just nailing them. And so he gets the benefit from, because obviously people, they go in and go, well, we got to cover this Sharma guy. He's the MVP. Right. Go to Virginia. So there's guys that kind of get open looks, and Ramos, a benefactor of it, and he can hit the three just as good as anyone.
Well, yeah, that's probably the biggest challenge with this team. If you focus all your attention on one person, you're leaving open a person who probably also has a D1 scholarship right there. So
pick your poison.
Exactly.
Kumu participated in the slam dunk competition last year that I called. I'm hoping he's in it again. Caceres. Air ball. Ingala. Ooh. Foul hard.
Yeah.
Ingala goes down. So Ingala, they got to make sure, because he's going to play a lot of minutes tonight. So, Coach Houston's got to figure out ways to keep him fresh and don't burn him out, because they need him.
Totally.
So Ingala's got offers right now from Lemoyne, which is one of the schools that just moved up from D2 to D1. University of Texas, Arlington. Shout out to Jeremy Pope, one of the assistants, one of the former Orangeville guys. He's down at UT Arlington. Also got Sam Houston in the mix. And I know I'm missing one other. I know Seton Hall, they haven't offered, but they have interest. Shout out to my guy Shaheen Holloway, the Seton Hall head coach. Got the chance to interview him when he was at St. Peter's. So he was the coach of that St. Peter's squad that went on the run and then got the job at his alma mater, Seton Hall, after making that run.
That's amazing.
Of course, Jaden Bediako down at Seton Hall right now, the former Ridley star, an older brother of Charles Bediako, now with the San Antonio Spurs. Also a former Ridley guy.
It's amazing.
All out of this league.
Imagine how much in, give them 5 years. Imagine.
Well, hey, there's going to be a lot more NBA guys.
Yeah, 100%.
There might be one or two here.
Exactly. We're probably standing in the room with at least. I'm gonna give it a 5. I'm gonna give it a 5.
Maybe one.
I got confidence. I got confidence.
Hey, you're in the room with about 12, 15 guys that are going to play NCAA hoops.
Yeah.
And then that's a whole other ball of wax. Because you're going about what? 330, 40 Division I teams. It changes every year.
Right.
And, you know, it gets, what do they say? Only, what's that old commercial? You know, only 1% of NCAA athletes go pro. The rest of us go pro in something else. Kumu. Caceres. 1-point ball game for ERIE White. Ishan Sharma. Step back with guys all over him. He's fouled. And Sharma to the line. So Sharma was a guy that had a bunch of offers from the Ivy Leagues. This guy's a smart cookie.
Oh, wow.
And I know he took a visit at Yale and had some other interests from the Ivy Leagues. And it was, okay, do I go to a school that sets me up for the next 40 years of my life?
Mm-hmm.
And in Virginia, look, you know, I always make the joke. There's a quote in Silence of the Lambs where Jodie Foster says, I assure you, you know, I'm a UVA grad. It wasn't a charm school. And so it's a pretty high academic institution as well. So he's going to get ACC hoops, which is as good as this guy's going to play against Duke next year.
Yeah. Princeton's also a good one, right? They've been doing pretty well in the
it was
NCAA.
The kid. Was it Xavier Lee, another Canadian kid? Well, yeah, so Sharma shunned the Ivy League, which is, hey, not too many people can say that. So back to it, 2-point ball game. Ekwamadu blows by Caceres. Chidube Ekwamadu, and he's pumped. Man, this dude's an electric athlete as well. He's an OSBA All-Star in his own right. 12-12. Sharma to a Kuntak. Sharma, no. But Sharma's been a part of the Team Canada program as well. Ngala. That's Sinda. And Ryan Kalambe.
Hi. That combo there was insane.
So, Ryan, you know what? Kalambe wasn't playing last week, and you realize what a difference this guy adds. 6'9", 2024 out of Brampton. So a lot of people involved in basketball know the story about his brother, with Dylan Kalambe, who famously had a heart transplant. And, you know, obviously they didn't really, things were looking grim for him, but he's made a full recovery now playing hoops out at the University of Calgary.
It's an amazing story.
I remember him from his OSBA days as well. And out right now, number 10, Jihad El-Khatib. Watch out for him.
I like the press they've applied here.
El-Khatib plays internationally for Turkey.
Nice.
His father, perhaps the most decorated basketball player in the history of Lebanon. Famous EuroLeague player. Oh, Kumu with the block. And then Sharma comes back. Fort Erie White's defense smothering. Fort Erie Black with a 3-point lead. Or not. Won't anyone pick that? Kumu. Underneath. Oh, Charlie Black, Kalambe. Wow. Man, he's such a difference maker. And by the way, the way Fort Erie Black's playing, the energy compared to what they were last week, night and day.
Mm-hmm.
And here we're going to see Henri Young coming in, number 4. Servilis. Kalambe, no.
A little too strong
Jihad
there.
El-Khatib. Kumu. Chris had a wide open shot. Take it, Chris. Well, Sharma says, I will. And short this time. Sharma cooled off over the past 2 minutes or so. 45 seconds left, opening quarter. Ekwamadu up and under. Swallowed up by Charrier. Goodness, Chris Kumu, electric. I tell you, this guy can jump out of the gym. He's special. Yeah. (15-14). With Servilis to Kalambe, spin move, and it dropped.
Wow.
Ryan Kalambe. Man, this guy's a difference maker. 8 seconds, 7. El Khatib. The kick out to Ramos. No. El Khatib, the putback. He was trying to get
yeah.
It was a smart play. So at the end of one, Fort Erie Black, believe it or not, leads 17-14.
Shocking.
Well, I hope nobody put any bets on this one.
Yes.
Like I said, I put the point spread at about 25 before. And so right now, hey, thank God. That's why I stopped betting on college hoops. Now I will start again in 2 weeks when the March Madness starts, but I didn't bet all season.
Yeah, they're talking about the Swish app right now. It's an awesome app. It's pretty much Sportsnet before the OSBA. You can track just about everything from a shot map, the play-by-play, and even once the games are done, there's an AI recap. So if you miss the game, you can get a little recap of what went on in the game.
So A Tribe Called Quest, Electric Relaxation, bumping in the back. I used to book shows for one of their members, Fife Dog, solo shows. One of the
Fife Dog, I like that name.
Well, he's R.I.P. He has since passed away, but great dude, and he's a big hoops guy. Fife Dog used to go on ESPN, talking New York Knicks hoops quite a bit.
That's my team.
There you go. Because he's obviously a New York hip-hop legend, so he knows his Knicks. So Fife, R.I.P., bro. You want to go download any Tribe Called Quest. All you youngins out there, you want some, look, it is so smooth, so perfect. Go get some A Tribe Called Quest. Add it to your shuffle there.
What's your NBA team?
I don't have one. So I started out when I was a kid. I was a Knicks fan because there was no Toronto Raptors when I was a kid.
Yeah,
they didn't come in effect until I was 19 years old. So I didn't grow up watching the Raptors.
Yeah.
Now I did like them. Obviously, I went first year. I was in when they were in the Sky Dome. I was in there watching the Raptors.
Yeah.
But I grew up a Knicks fan. I love Patrick Ewing and John Starks and all those guys. And then you come the early 2000s because I'm team late night. I always used to go out at like 10:30 and have a drink after work, and I started watching the Lakers. So Kobe, Shaq, and Rick Fox. Rick's one of the reasons I started watching college basketball. Canadian guy from Montreal, played for North Carolina, and he was one of the pieces on that Kobe, Shaq team. And so I was a Lakers guy for years. But now I don't. I watch every game. I don't root for anyone. I watch everybody.
That's awesome.
Other than these horrible Raptors, bad team. And Toby Ezekafor off the mark. Back to it, second quarter. Chris McKee with Haley Hopkinson. OSBA semifinals. Kumu and one. Chris Kumu. So Kumu's got a couple offers right now. I know he's got Arizona State interested, George Mason, and expect plenty more. This guy's a 2025, and so I've said it a dozen times throughout games. Over the next year, this guy is going to skyrocket up recruiting boards. You're going to go on Twitter. When you join Twitter, Haley, and you see it, you're going to see these guys all talking about, oh, this guy Kumu, man, watch out. He's like, thanks for the tip, Chet. Yeah. Luka Sinda back in. Henri Young to the bench. And Kumu at the line. He was a part of Team Quebec that won the U17 national championships. Nice kid too, and I like it. Like he knows he's good, and that's a good thing. There's no. I wouldn't say being humble is his best trait, but he's a good kid, man. I like him. I was just chatting with some of the other. I was Timothy Easy, Bill Carruthers star. He's hanging out in the stands. Went and said hello to him. Taja Duke with Cali Prep, one of the best guards in the country. I know he's got a bunch of offers. Guy put up 52 points last week.
Wow.
Servilis, no. Gets his own rebound. Servilis, the floater, and he'll go to the line. So Servilis, another Montreal guy out of this Brookwood Elite program. It's one of the best programs in the country. I don't know how many NCAA guys out of that program. I know Lou Gensdorf with Oklahoma City out of Brookwood. Keyshawn Bartholomew now at Oregon there, out of it. Tyree Samuel down at Florida, same program. Servilis, 1917, Fort Erie Black. If you're just joining us, disregard their official names. We're going Fort Erie White, Fort Erie Black for the sake of sanity.
Yes.
I can't walk and chew gum, so trying to figure out which is not cool.
No.
El Khatib to Jackson, who started off hot and then can't rev it up again. Charrier, nope. Sharma, no. And Sharma fouled. So I mentioned this during the last game. I got my first ever try of Chick-fil-A today.
Oh, yes.
I had the French fries.
What do you rate them out of 10?
A 4 1/4.
Oh,
now
wow.
the dip, like I said, the dip was an 8. Soggy, nasty. Look, McDonald's French fries are the gold standard of fast food French fries. Can't beat that.
No.
I like it. Harvey's burgers are good, but their fries are appalling. And by the way, here's my public service announcement. I go running every day, and I run down to certain parks. And every time you go to these kind of, conservation areas and parks, you see fast food garbage bags everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's like, hey, look, just because you don't care about your own body and your own life, don't ruin the environment by throwing it out the window, and stop doing it. You never see like
For that. If you think this is about you, it's about you.
You never see like a vegan container, someone that cares about themselves and eats healthy. It's always the slobs. It's a fast food cup and a Burger King bag. So stop doing it. Ishan Sharma with the lay-in. Now back to the basketball. So Fort Erie White back in the lead, 21-19. 7:55 to go, opening half. Servilis, no. That's the one thing. I think Fort Erie Black's got to rev up that 3.
Yeah.
Or keep feeding Kalambe because he's doing all right in the paint. Caceres. Jihad El Khatib, no. Braden Jackson. And Braden lays it in. And so now a timeout. Coach Houston wants to travel there, and I think he's got a legit argument. 23-19. Time it on the floor. Of course, don't forget, drop a follow on the OSBA Instagram, Ontario SBA. Haley's been doing some great interviews at the halftime. Yesterday we had Reagan doing some.
Yep. All on there. Besides, I think the last game, I think we did not have the mic on.
Oh, good. That's always good.
But since you probably can't see it, I'll let you know it was amazing. Best interview ever. No, those guys are really, really funny at Royal Crown. They just seem like such a team over there.
Well, that's a team on a mission.
Yep.
They've booked their spot in the OSBA final.
Yep. And if you remember Justice from the last game, I asked what made it more special being in the championship this year compared to last year. And he says because he's leading the team, he's running the show. He has all the younger guys looking up to him, and he loves seeing that they're growing. And it's because he's out there making the mistakes or doing the good things that they can learn from.
So no music again?
The DJ.
It's either you're a DJ or you're not.
Exactly. Yeah. Pick a stance.
He's no DJ Raw. Let me tell you. That's my past DJ lifetime name. Yeah. I outed myself as a former DJ.
Yup.
I played all across North America as a DJ.
That's awesome.
In raves. I played in Atlanta once.
Oh, wow.
Buffalo, Rochester, all that. A couple over the border, and then coast to coast in Canada. What a feed. And then Lucasinda. Nicely done. 23-21. We got Nishan Singh out there getting his first minutes, number 11. And he just helped create a steal. That's what you want. Guys off the bench coming in, contributing. Kalambe lands. Kalambe. 23 Earl. Now Charles Hentamakis wants a timeout. So Charles trying to let the ref know he thought there was a push. And so, hey, to be honest, Fort Erie Black shocking the world.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's something, Coach Houston can kind of rally his guys around. Like, nobody in this gym thinks you're going to win this game.
Yeah.
This team thinks they're going to walk over you, and they're thinking about what they're doing Sunday after they beat Crown.
Exactly.
And so you can see these boys were like, yeah, maybe we can spoil that party. Lovely facility here in Scarborough. We talked about it yesterday. Home of the CEBL's Scarborough Shooting Stars. And I would watch the CEBL if they didn't have that horrible Elam ending, the most useless ending in professional sports. So get rid of it, and maybe someone will care. Because if you're not familiar with the Elam ending, essentially what happens is they play 3.5 quarters, and then with 3 minutes left, I think it is, they scrap the score. And it's like, oh, now you guys are tied again. It's like, well, why did we play the first 3 quarters? They just play the last 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And so, look, I love what it's doing for Canadian basketball, providing opportunities for Canadians. But the format is hacky nonsense.
I don't know if it makes it feel like the players aren't good enough to do it, but I feel like it's almost like a disrespectful, but a little disrespectful of a rule. Like, they can do it without having to be tied by the end
of it.
It's so
Canadian. Hey, let's everyone do it. Stop. And Jackson lost the handle on it. Elam ending. Sorry. It drives me insane. That's what I try to watch, and then you're like, what?
Yeah.
And you're like, no.
No. Because you may as well just tune in for the last 3 minutes.
Now, if they pay me to care, I'll certainly care. But they're not anymore, so. Ingala up and under. No. Rebound, Caceres. Here comes Fort Erie White. Jackson got Charrier with him. And the big man lays it in. Charrier. Char, you see him, big 6'10", 6'11", dude. I've interviewed him. He's so quiet, so unassuming. A man of few words, shall we say. Ingala.
Wow, what a pass.
And a foul. Toby Ezekafor to the free throw line. Tying the shoes. So, inching closer to half, 5:58 to go. I didn't think this would be this kind of ball game.
Me either.
So, we're all pleasantly surprised here. Hey, how amazing would it be if Fort Erie Black could shock the world?
That would be awesome. I mean, yeah, I think Fort Erie Black has the best chance of beating Fort Erie White just because they are so familiar with each other. So I think if it wasn't Fort Erie Black playing them right now, I think this would be very different.
A lot of people view the Fort Erie Black as, the little brother of this other program. Well, I had an older brother too, and he used to beat my butt, and eventually I got to a certain age where one day I cracked him in the face, and he never touched me again. So the little brother can grow up sometimes. And so there's Diego Ramos, and this is a wide open lay-in. How many steps you get? Yeah, you're not James Harden. I like you, Bashir. You're a good player, but you don't get the 7 James Harden steps. Tied at 25. 5:30 to go, opening half. I remember I was about 15 when I hit my brother when his knees buckled, and then he was like, "All right, no more, no more of that." He didn't want my sauce, right?
No, not the sauce.
So he would have been about 18 at the time.
Yeah.
Because this is when I was boxing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I was like,
I didn't want to mess with you in the first place,
yeah.
right?
Now I was like, okay, I was starting to figure it out. So Caceres, first team OSBA All-Star last year, and an All-Canadian team member this year. Rated as a 3-star on 24/7 as well. Nope. Looked good, but it popped out. So Lucas Cinda down the other way, just hanging by himself. Charrier comes back to mark. 1-2 for Caceres.
Right now, Fort Erie Black team is shooting at 90% from the free throw line, which is probably the best we've seen all day so far. And they're shooting at 67 for just 2-point jumpers. 8 for 12.
Kalambe fouls. I'm so impressed with Kalambe. Like I said, he wasn't playing last week when I did their game. And just having him in a lineup, it makes this team so much different.
Yeah.
Tie ball game. 26-26. Two for two.
Nice.
Fort Erie Black out in front. So I asked the connection because a couple of the Fort Erie Black guys have Sam Houston offers. I said, well, that's a weird connection. And they said, well, the guy who was the assistant at the University of Buffalo, he's now an assistant at Sam Houston.
Oh.
So obviously Buffalo, those coaches are always in the gym at Fort Erie because it's a 5-minute drive for them. So I'm like, because Sam Houston's way down in Texas. And I was like, how is that connected? And it's like, oh, the Buffalo assistants moved over.
Oh, wow. That's a great opportunity for them.
It's all who you know, not what you know, right?
Yep.
Oh, Singh did a great job saving that. I've seen Nishan play for a couple years. He used to be up at the Athlete Institute, one of the Orangeville teams. Now over at Fort Erie. Kumu. And Kumu got away with a run. Sharma. A Kuntak, short jumper, no. That's one thing. Both the Kuntak and Ye, the two big men, they've got to develop that mid-range. And there's Nishan Singh, just blows by everyone. You know, it's funny. Like I said, I don't know Nishan too well, but I've seen him in the gym a bunch of times over the past couple years. I saw him pregame. I was like, yo, dude came to play, man. He just had this look on his face like he meant business.
Laser focus.
And you're seeing it right now. Ekwamadu. Lost the handle on it, poked out of bounds, and it looks like, it's going to be Fort Erie white ball, so the call overturned. .330 to go. I mean, highly entertaining game.
Yes.
Are they going to pass it? Or are we going to finally? Matt Dan. It was like a hush in the
I know.
It's like, I didn't want to spoil the silence. I like a good uncomfortable silence sometimes, you know? Shot clock at 5:43. Ngala recognizes.
Yep.
Swish. Bashir Ngala. And the flag hooker. 29-26. Fort Erie Black.
He's got the whole team all hyped up now.
So I feel for the Fort Erie White kids right now.
Yeah.
Because a couple of weeks ago when I was up in Orangeville, they were in a bit of a sloppy game against Orangeville, and they went to half, and Charles Hentomakis laid into these guys. Like I said, there's about a 10-inch brick wall,
Yeah.
and I could hear him through the change room wall and the brick wall, and it was like,
Oh my gosh.
and then when the boys came out, they were like 2 minutes late getting out of the, normally they come out at halftime,
Yeah.
they'll shoot around. None of that. They were about 2 minutes late getting in, and these boys looked like they just walked out of a funeral.
Oh no.
But when the whistle blew, they
They were
came out
ready.
possessed, and
Yeah.
they won by 40-something.
So I'm probably not going to get the post game with the coach.
Oh, well, the halftime, if they're down, you probably want to go to Steve
Yep.
Houston instead of Charles, because I'm just a forewarning.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
So Steve's a little nicer. And look, Charles is the best dude ever.
Yeah.
It's all business.
He when it's game time, it's game time. What can you say?
And I talked about this last week as well. When I talked to Charles before the game, because they were 15-0 playing Orangeville, and they were resting Akuntak, and I said, meaningless game. And he stopped me. He said, Chris, there are no meaningless games.
I like that.
And that's why I'm like, that's why Charles.
Yep.
That's why Charles went 16-0.
Yep, that's why they're the number one ranked team. And produces and that's why everyone wants to play for him.
That's it. Of course, Leonard Miller now with the Minnesota Timberwolves out of this Fort Erie program. Younger brother of Emmanuel, now at TCU. Leonard, you want to know, what do NBA guys look like? Different. That's why I'm not sold on. Look, there's some really good college players here. I don't know about NBA. Matt Dan swatted away. So the 7-footer doing what 7-footers are supposed to do. Play defense like that. 5-point lead. I'm in shock. Akuntak. Sean Sharma's gone ice cold. They got to get him revved up. And what's the foul? It's on Toby. I'm waiting for the message from Toby Fournier going, I'm the only Toby.
Yep.
At the OSBA, right?
Yep.
Caceres. Sharma. Shot clock at 5, 4. Caceres off the mark, air ball. And Fort Erie White I haven't seen the miss out of sorts.
Yeah.
It's funny. We've been talking about, boxing references all weekend and talking about, Fort Erie Blacks came and gave them a punch in the mouth. It's like a headbutt to the nose they've come out and given them. Because Fort Erie White looks dazed.
Yeah.
When you get hit in the nose and you're just like, everything's watery?
Yeah.
That's kind of what Fort Erie White's playing right now. Here's Diego Ramos. He didn't even touch him. He literally purposely didn't touch him.
Terrible call.
Don't say that, because that's one of the refs
that wasn't a terrible call.
That's one of the refs that shows up in my DMs.
Okay. Well, I'm private on Instagram, so you can get me.
Yeah. Hey, it wasn't me.
I don't know. We're on like a bird's eye view right now, like a little bit above.
So 31-26, Ramos from Waterloo has been a part of Team Ontario. He's a 2024.
Wow.
Toby Ezekafor from 3.
That was awesome.
Oh, he's the real Toby now.
Yeah.
30 for 26. I don't believe what I'm seeing. Kumu. No. Matt Dan pokes it away from Akuntak, the Defensive Player of the Year. Ezekafor. And that's another guy that wasn't playing last week in Orangeville. So Ezekapor and Kalembe, just difference makers. It's just giving this team different life. 34-26. Braden Jackson back in. Well, this is why they play the game, folks.
Yep.
Fort Erie Black, the heavy underdogs, lead 34-26. 1:25 to go opening half. You got a team with one D1 commit against a team with like 5 D1 commits. And then more to come in 2025.
Yeah.
You could argue their 25 class might be better. Servilis. No, ripped away by a Kuntak. Last minute to play in the half. Caceres. Jackson. And the foul. Mario Lacunza, two-handed dunk. Maybe that'll wake up Fort Erie White. Oh, adventurous pass that was a little too predictable by Ngala. Sharma drives the kick out. And so predictable. Everyone could see that. Servilis slows down, and he was under the hoop. I think he should have just kind of dribbled out and reset. 7 seconds. 5, 4. Caceres. Kumu got to put it up. And no foul call. The ref. They're calling a blocking foul with zeros on the clock, and Kalembe can't believe it. I don't buy. I'm not a fan of the call because Kumu was out of control.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like he knew where he was going. He was wildly kind of. But a bit of a break for Fort Erie White. Well, you might as well go down and.
Yeah.
He was only 0.7. I'll close out in the half, and like I said, go to Steve. He'd be a little friendly. You need your pen?
No.
Okay. Well, Haley's got to run down and do the interviews. Don't forget, check her out. She'll do the halftime interviews on the Ontario SBA Instagram story. So she's going down talking to different coaches and players, and make sure she gets down to halftime to go do it. Appreciate you guys tuning in. It's always a buzz. I bump into so many, especially here this week, and how many people are like, oh, hey, I listen to you on the streams. And sometimes you think nobody's listening. And it's not who's not listening, it's about who's listening. So at the end of one half, the unthinkable, 34-29, Fort Erie Black, the heavy underdogs, well, they've got the halftime lead. I'm Chris McKee. Appreciate you tuning in. We'll take a 10-minute break and back for the second half. Welcome back for the start of the second half. OSBA men's semifinal action between Fort Erie Black, otherwise known as, what are they, Fort Erie International, and then there's Fort Erie White, who we're calling today because they're wearing white jerseys. And so Chris McKee with Haley Hopkinson. What a first half we just had.
I know. I know. So I went over to ask Fort Erie White. I got one of the assistant coaches asking him what was the biggest takeaway, like what's the key to the second half. He said that the guys just looked a little hesitant shooting the ball, which is just obviously nerves. We've seen nerves has affected almost every single game here. So I think once, probably coming into this third quarter here, we're going to see a little more shots coming from them.
Cool. Well, hey, man, their defense has been stellar.
Exactly.
So, I mean,
one piece of the puzzle is there.
Defense
and
leads to good offense.
Exactly.
So normally I follow the Live Golf.
Mm-hmm.
I'm missing it this weekend. There's a whole bunch of, big stuff going on. And of course the NFL Combine also happening. And so we're back to it. Start of the second half. We've got Braden Jackson, the Buffalo commit, on wearing number 7. Chris Kumu, the All-Canadian. Felix Caceres, the Colorado commit, number 3. Mary LaCoontok, number 13, the All-Canadian. Ishan Sharma, the Virginia commit, an All-Canadian and OSBA MVP. And then just the one NCAA commit, number 5, Chidube Ekwamadu on Fort Erie Black. Cedar Servilis, 10. Bashir Ngala, 0. Ryan Kalembe, who was really good in the first half, number 13. And then Toby Ekafor, number 9. LaCoontok to the line. Mariola's got offers from Seton Hall and Oregon. Defensive Player of the Year, named pregame. He's got some nice sneakers, those pink. Real men wear pink, that's why I'm a big fan of that. Nice. And, just his form, you can tell he's put a lot of work into those free throws. So an upset for the ages brewing right here. I walked by the Fort Erie White huddle, and Charles was rather subdued, not kind of laying into the guys, just coaching more. And there's Kalembe with a little lay-in. Did Fort Erie Black go to the change room or no?
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
they did.
I didn't get a chance to kind of check out their vibe. Well, they're bench engaged. They look good. 5-point lead. Caceres, no. Well, Fort Erie White came out just red hot and then cooled off since. Colder than a night in Sault Ste. Marie. My son goes to university in Sault Ste. Marie, so I know how cold it is. Shot clock at 7, 6, 5. Kalembe. Wow. 7-point lead. Man. A shocker of shockers in the works. Akunsok. One of the problems with Fort Erie White is they have too many dudes. There's Braden Jackson. So it's not like some of these other teams where hey, man, there's a minute left. This guy's getting the ball.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen. And so who's the chef?
Right.
And that's the rub, right? And sometimes that can happen, where some of these other teams, we know, like we watched that. Who was the kid? Kimani Marraro.
Yeah.
We knew he was getting the ball.
Exactly.
And so you don't know that with Fort Erie. And so a lot of guys, sometimes the alpha needs to know, hey, it's my game.
Exactly.
And the rest of the guys can just let him go.
That's hard to do with so many D1 players.
Fort Erie doesn't do that.
No.
The white team anyways. I don't even know what that call was, but alas, it's went against Fort Erie White. Oh, shoot. That thing's unplugged again. I don't know why they unplug it. Corner 3. No. Kalembe. Kumu electric.
Wow.
Man, you just see those hops.
Yeah.
An easy lay-in. Chris Kumu. Ekwamadu is from Mississauga. So plays AU at UPlay. Servilis, nice basketball. Fort Erie Black, textbook. 5-point lead. Sader Servilis. He's one of the guys with a Sam Houston offer. A Coontalk. That's some big men there.
Yep.
And a Coontalk over top of Kalambe. Three-point ball game. Fort Erie White looks inspired. So does Chidube Ekwamadu, but wildly goes down. So Fort Erie White's got numbers. They've got 5 on 4. Jackson. And he threw it to nobody. Oh, my God. So they had who was it? Ekwamadu down on the ground under the other hoop, and they couldn't take advantage. Three-point ball game. Appreciate you guys tuning in here on OSBA TV. Mention any issues with sound, just hit me up on Twitter at Mr. McKee, Ekwamadu no, or my Instagram undrafted_FA.
Oh,
out of sorts.
There we go.
Wow. Just Toby Ezekafor. 42-37.
These not expected.
These boys are possessed. This is what a team looks like, you know? These guys are so connected, so together. They're all buying into Coach Steve Houston's message. And a Coontalk just tossed out. That's 2 of the last 3 possessions were a Fort Erie guys. Fort Erie White's tossed out of bounds. And now you got a Coontalk screaming at Kumu. You know what's funny? When you see that, when you watch NCAA hoops up close, which I've seen quite a few games of, especially over the past year or two, those guys are screaming at each other all game.
Yeah.
So to quote, Cuba Gooding Jr. and Jerry Maguire, you think we're arguing. I think we're finally talking, right? Well, who's going to show me the money? Let's go.
Right.
42-37. Are you a rom-com fan?
I am.
Yeah, what's your favorite rom-com?
Right now, it's Anyone But You. That new one?
No, who's in it?
I thought it was fantastic. I don't know the guy's name, actually. It's the Sydney Sweeney one, but you know what? I always have to go with 13 going on 30.
That's a good one. I'm a Sweet Home Alabama guy.
Oh, okay.
Fine, yeah.
Okay.
When he said, "Why'd you want to marry me anyway? So I can kiss you anytime I want." That's the line, right? These people are like, shut up and talk about hoops. Long 3. That's Servilis off the mark. When you're on the microphone for 9 hours a day, you're talking about other stuff than hoops. Bear with us. We've been here since like noon.
Yes.
And we're yesterday. Sharma. Jihad Al-Khatib. No. He was looking for a foul.
Yeah.
I think they need a little bit more Jihad Al-Khatib in this game. The other guys are ice cold. Once he gets revved up, watch out.
Yeah.
He got revved up a week or 2 ago up in Orangeville when I was doing the game. Was unstoppable. Al-Khatib's got some, he's got an offer from George Mason. He said he's got some other interest in my interview with him a week ago. He's one of those, he looks about 26 when I chatted with him. Nice young dude, smart guy. Love his game. There's also his brother, Hadi El-Khatib, with those green sneakers over on the bench. You have to see him today. Jackson, nicely done. So with about 2 seconds left on the shot clock, clever play drawn up. And Braden Jackson with the lay-in, 42-39. Fort Erie Black. Nishan Singh. Dan. Singh attacks. No.
Oh, close one there.
And then you go and get. I mean,
Yes.
you see the hustle on him,
Yeah.
right? Like, he came to play.
100%.
All business. Caceres over a couple guys, gets his own rebounds. Felix Caceres. And now a timeout on the floor. Looks like Team Black wants to sit and talk about it. I think that's more. I think he realized some of his guys were gassed. And he's like, let me just give them a blow here. Watched Crazy Stupid Love again last week. You know, Ryan Gosling, Steve Carell. Yeah. You know what's funny? I know Ryan Gosling has become this sex symbol, the Canadian guy. I know him. There used to be a TV show called Breaker High, and he was like the stoner dude on
really?
Breaker High. So it was this bad YTV show that we used to have. This is going back like early 2000s, like 20 years ago. And this bad YTV show where the concept was the kids go to school on a cruise ship and they travel around the world.
Okay.
So, hey, we're in Portugal today. Now, it was always just in a studio in Toronto, and they had the worst, like, fake Portuguese actors. The worst one is when they went to Jamaica, quote unquote, and it was the worst Jamaican accents ever. He was on this bad team. But it was like so gloriously bad.
Yeah.
So I liked him.
Can't stop watching.
Yeah, I loved him. I'm like, it's the guy from, I think his name was like Sean from Breaker High. And I was like, and then he became this huge sex symbol. I'm like, that's the dude from Breaker High.
I like him in, what was it? Is it Return or Remembering the Titans? That one movie.
The football one?
Yes, I
remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans. He's in that one. I like that.
Singh steps out of bounds. Yeah. I could see that from here.
Yep.
And the whole Fort Erie white bench saw it.
Yep.
No, I know you probably want to talk about Ryan Gosling. Oh, yeah. 42-41. I want to talk about Gosling some more.
He's from Burlington.
Is he really?
Yeah.
There you go.
His mom still supply teaches at a high school right beside me.
And then Braden Jackson just did the exact same thing. Nishan Singh stepped out of bounds in our Bermuda Triangle of the Pan Am Center.
Yep.
42-41. Team Black. Fort Erie Black. Ekwamadu. Ingala. Shot clock at 5, and Kalembe just ran into a Kuntak. Ishan Sharma, easy lay-in. Made it look easy, and now Fort Erie White back out in front for the first time in a long time. 2:42 to go, third quarter. No. Sharma. Man. He stares down Nishan Singh right in his face.
Go away.
All the way from Virginia. Well, Tony Bennett, the Virginia coach, is tuned in. What's up, mate? If you need a play-by-play guy, get at me. Sharma. El Khatib. Shot like a 3, 2-1. Caceres. All the way from Boulder, Colorado.
That's amazing.
You know what's funny? I don't think he recognized, and then he heard the shouts from the crowd.
Yeah.
3, 2, and he went, oh. All net. So Fort Erie White looking like they're supposed to. 7-point lead now. 49-42. Sinda. Kalembe. Mid-range jumper, no. I want to see him put that ball on the ground and attack. I mean, the size of his frame, Dude's going to have a nightmare trying to outmuscle him. So, and Jackson, what? They're calling a foul an offensive? I don't understand it.
Fort Erie White's coach is very not happy with this call here.
Well, Charles, hey, I'm with Charles on this.
Yeah, I think that was a great call.
Well, Charles named OSBA Coach of the Year. Under a minute left, third quarter. Kevin Toth, number 3, back out there. Fort Erie Black. Halambe.
Oh, wow.
Dropped in.
That was lucky.
It was like somebody blew it, like a little blow on it to get it over. El Khatib. Akuntak. And rolled out of bounds. It's still going to be white ball. A spot in the finals on the line against Royal Crown Sunday night. Of course, don't forget to tune in or get down here to the Pan Am.
Yes, then it's going to be a very exciting game.
3 on the shot clock. 2. Caceres again.
Oh, close.
And Toth grabs that. And 15 seconds to go. 13. Servilis. Halambe. No. Ramos. He's trying to find space to get it up. Kumu. And that'll do it.
All right.
So at the end of 3, Fort Erie White regains the lead. 49-44. Chris McKee with Haley Hopkinson. Fourth quarter to play. What a game.
I know. This has been very exciting. One more quarter left in the whole day.
Any plans Friday night? Going Raven?
Sleeping.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I might go Raven. I'm
You
joking.
should.
Nah.
Yeah, if you were DJing, I'd go raving.
Nah.
But
You know, I still know a few people from my days, so.
that's amazing.
Speaking of T Grizzly, here we go right now in the background. Although I don't know why they play this in the gym. I love T Grizzly, but it's like a 2.5 minute intro before the beat drops. So it's not a good gym song. You want something where the beat drops right away.
Do you think the Scarborough Shooting Stars have a problem with that part of the court?
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah. I'm sure they all do.
Yeah.
I know J. Cole would. Because he's overrated. That's why he would have. Yeah. So back to it on the floor. Equamato inbounds. Sater Servilis. Now you wonder the legs on Fort Erie Black. Kalambe out there. He's Ekafor. And then Kevin Toth for Fort Erie White. Sharma, Caceres, Akuntak, El Khatib, and Kumu. So Charles Antomakis has just been given a warning. I think the refs have just about enough of it. Now, I've seen him teed up for less. I've also seen Charles tossed a few times. But hey, for his sake, you know, this is one of those, you can't get the head coach tossed in a game like this.
Yeah, no.
They need you. Kalambe to the line. What a game he's had. Crowd getting a little chatty as well. And ice cold from the free throw line. Akuntak. Kumu. El Khatib. Oh, and Akuntak can't get a handle on it. Turnover. Servilis. Ezekafor. Poked away by Caceres. Toft, 2024. Well, been kind of in and out of the game. It's tough to, match the tempo of everyone else when you're kind of getting in for a minute here and there. Is the speed of this game lightning quick?
Oh,
Speaking of lightning quick, Felix Gutierrez trigger. Bang. 52-44. Kalambe, no. And Akuntak just deflecting shots. And Akuntak's come up limp. I saw him. He's kind of holding his
hopping around on his ankle.
Heel or Achilles or something. Stolen. Kalambe. And Ryan Kalambe. Akuntak is vexed. He just took himself out of the game.
Yeah.
So he might be hurt. Yeah, I think he's livid because something's popped.
Yeah.
So Akuntak has walked way down the tunnel down the back. So he's hurt. Something's happened. We'll keep an eye on that. Yeah, Kalambe, all right. He was down for a minute. I think he just needed a breather. He's like, I'm gassed.
Yeah, he's frustrated. He punched that little.
No, I'm talking about Akuntak. I'm talking about. No, that's the I'm hurt and he knows he's hurt punch. I'm talking about Kalambe just on the ground. Now he's milking it even more, tying his shoes. I like this. This is like a veteran move. To quote the great comedian Andrew Dice Clay, it's a professional move. I'm a big Dice Clay guy. I got to see him second row in Las Vegas at the Laugh Factory a couple years ago.
Oh.
So he's notoriously one of the most crude comedians. And there was this couple front row, and they paid front row to see. I'm like, you don't know who this guy is?
Yeah, and you paid front row?
Because he's notorious for kind of goofing on people in the front row, especially couples. And he just destroyed this couple. And it was like they didn't know what they signed up for. And it was like, this is Dice Clay, man, like.
Yeah.
He'll do that stuff. Like, hey, how long have you guys been married? And then he'll just go in and just shred them apart. And because they were reacting, he kept
gives
going.
Them more, yeah.
Gives him that. You take the wife out for a date and just get shredded for half an hour by the guy on stage. Right. What's the call? It's Charrier goes on the ground. Now, that's one of the luxuries that Fort Erie has. Akuntak goes down. Well, we got another guy who's just as big and good. Charrier. Friday night under the lights. Here in the Pan Am Center in the borough. Kumu. Looks good. No. Sharma. Fort Erie White resets. Caceres. Wow. And a wrestling match just possession arrow favors Fort Erie White. So good play by Kumu to get in there and wrestle with the big man. I don't know how Kalambe didn't win that battle. That shows how strong Kumu is.
Yeah.
That's a big dude he's in there wrestling with. Kumu. Oh my goodness. I mean, he was literally like almost lying on his back midair when he threw that up and it dropped. Holy cow. Unbelievable. Does the stream cut out? Oh, great. Well, there we go. Thought the stream cut out.
Oh, yeah.
It never fails.
Good.
There's always something. And Kumu converts the 3-point play. 55-47. Okay. So, but the audio is not cut out, but the video is? Ezekafor turnaround jump shot. Toby Ezekafor. So 7:08 to go, 55-49. And Charyan, two-handed dunk. Oh, wow. He's in the face of it now. It's got to be a technical. I mean, it's got to be. So that's not smart hoops.
No.
Okay, you just made this huge dunk. You got...
yeah, he got checked.
You got your team kind of back rolling, and you go do something silly like that, unnecessary.
Yeah.
Dude, you're 6'11". You're supposed to dunk on people like that. 57-49. I like it. Gala, though, didn't back down from the big man.
Yeah.
And here's the Tech, Toby, down the other end, shooting some free throws. And they'll keep possession. Ezekafor just hit a three, and he goes to ground. Charrier on top of him again.
Oh.
Akuntak still on the bench. Hasn't come back in since he went out with some sort of injury. That's the problem with big guys, you know? They're delicate. Because most human beings aren't supposed to be 6'10", right?
No.
So speaking of conspiracy theories, there is also some evidence that we may have had a population of literally giants that lived
I believe it.
in the world before. They found some bones. I know in California they found some of some people that are like 10, 11 feet tall.
That'd be cool.
Caceres. And good block by Dan. Just stood there, stood his ground. Servilis back the other way, and he's mugged by Sharma. So Sater to the free throw line. I'm surprised we haven't seen a lot of Henri Young, because I loved this game last week. Had a bunch of threes.
Yeah.
He's athletic, can drive to the hoop.
Maybe he'll be their fourth quarter weapon.
Well, Coach Houston knows his guys, and so there's a problem with the stream. We're going to cancel it, which is great with 6 minutes left in a semifinal game. We're going to restart it. So check back in on the OSBA YouTube. They're going to restart the stream, so apologies. Give us a minute.